All right, separate traders, welcome on back here this Thursday, October 6th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We got a call out from Scott here inside our live trading room. FNGR is saying hi of the day. We'll jump to that in a moment. Great to see Scott, Andre, Carol, Leda, and all of us just rejoining us here inside the live trading room. Hopefully loud, hopefully clear. You can't see me still right now, though. I'm reporting live from my dungeon, making sure that no fuses blow out again like from this morning. So great to see all of us back on social media, though, nonetheless, from Facebook Live or YouTube. I mean, hey, the markets are slumping off a little bit here, but the Chinese EV stocks like Li, like NIO, have been getting smashed. I mean, really the last week and a half or so, but today both down big once again. Li down over 13%, NIO down over or nearly 7.5% right now. NIO's like even a little bit more flat right now compared to that Li. LI is looking pretty good as a short. So right out the gate, hey, we're going to put these two on our watch list here to begin. The Li, the NIO. There's the other one, XPEV, right? Yeah, dropping off also down over like 4%, probably holding the strongest, so to say, compared to the others. But that could be a short as well. I like the first two a little bit more, so we're not going to build up too big of a watch list here at this point. But hey, the SPY has been slumping up off a little bit, but it hasn't really broken that much lower. Really, it's been holding pre-market levels pretty nicely. Let's see if I could actually do this without like freezing up my platform. Just give me a quick moment here. Toss it to the SPY right now, which now the SPY is inching back up a little bit now, thankfully, but right off pre-market levels, right off 374, basically. It ended up bottoming out there earlier, which I was expecting, but then you're coming back down. And the more it tests support, you're more worried about a break of support. So I was a little concerned going into this meeting we would have seen support break. That's not the case just yet, but we're still not ruling it out. We still have about 87 minutes left before the end of the day here. So, we'll go across the percent gainers and losers lists here in a moment, folks. Let's actually, let's hop to that right now. I'm going to go over Mara probably at the end then. I was going to start off with that, but we'll jump to Mara at the end. I ended up closing a small swing trade I had from yesterday afternoon, but I'm back in. I'm going to show you where I ended up jumping on that trade. I mean, but if the markets do break support, then I would anticipate Mara to drop down with it. So, we'll check that out at the end. Let's go across the percent gainers and losers lists here. Otherwise, see what else we got. Oh, hi. There we go. All right, AMV to begin. This is a gamble stock, not a casino stock. That's my joke, but this is a pure gamble if you're looking to make money on it. It's an IPO, I guess, from like a week or two ago. Popped up to God knows what price one morning, then came all the way right back down, and it was an ugly day then. And since it's only been dropping off, I guess today it ended up, running up, getting halted a couple of times there, but it's just a pure gamble. You can't use a market order on this stock. We normally don't use market orders anyway. But, to say, though, you're going to burn 45 cents on the spread here, 35 cents on the spread, or roughly around there using market. And otherwise, it's going to be just very tough to get out of unless if you're trading extremely, extremely tiny shares. So, you're kind of wasting your time there, I'd say, otherwise. And then there's better trades. We've had better trades from today. Mott's being one of them. I was a little worried about this trade being more of like a pop and drop you could evidently see from the daily chart. So I'm very happy to say this proved me wrong, right? Ended up making a nice big pop here today. The Mott's trade, I ended up getting my hands on this one a little bit later on, and I left some money on the table, but right off 270, ended up getting out just under 3. Popped a little bit higher, but ended up pulling right back down. And, here for the meantime, you could still say it's like building a bit of a rounded top. It's holding near the highs, but you could see pretty clearly resistance is still being tested, still being built perhaps across the day. So it's not even just 3, but you also have 310 and then also 315. A couple of big icebergs out there. So, hey, I'll put this on our watch list here. Mott's, it looks strong still in sense of trend, but you want to see this really begin to break higher soon. Looking around for my water bottle. It's on my other table there. I got my drink here otherwise. All right. Let's see what else we got here, though. The Mott's trade we have on our watch list now. We have the Chinese EV stocks like NIO and Li, if you're just joining us right now. So not a bad list to begin. SNTI, I mean, you could say the same with this as I said on Mott's. It's kind of just moving up a little bit, grinding on up. It's I mean, you could say this is kind of filling in more sideways, making lower highs, higher lows, but it's proven us wrong today, though. I mean, I wasn't expecting as clean of a move up once again today after the week and a half it's had. So, you know what? We'll put this on our watch list here as well, the SNTI. Right now, let me just actually bring up level 4 for this trade. I know there's a few of us that have been following this from earlier this afternoon. All right. So right now you can see this is beginning to squeeze up towards 780. A little bit of an order that was just sitting there. It just broke over it. But, I'd wait to see what happens more so off the 8 level. A couple of tests off 8 earlier today to where it made false breaks above it and came right back down, or it tested it and tanked. So, that's really the bigger level to watch at this point. After that, if this could really needle 8 and break over it, then 850, you would assume there's a big order sitting there for about roughly 15,000. Up, and then from there, 9. Nine's your bigger level up top. So, it could lead to a nice clean break over 8. Should you give it a couple of more tests, and then from there, perhaps we could see a nice target in 9 off that break of 8. But yeah, going into the close here for right now, the SNCI we'll put back on our list for right now. Now, if this is like a false breakout and this tanks from right here, we're watching this right now. If that's like a little false break and it tanks down to like 650, then game over. So we'll check back in with this even at the end, but for right now, it makes the cut. PEGY, another stock that's been kind of like gaining my trust a little bit more here in respect, ended up making a big pop back on Tuesday of this week. And, hey, normally for a stock that makes a one-off pop, I'll trade it, but I'm not going to like look to really fall in love with it, right? I mean, it took a while for me to fall in love with Neo, right? So it's to say this one, well, yesterday ended up making another big squeeze up. And from that point, I said, hey, you know what? It's been very liquid, at least really liquid. Today, right now, penny spread really filled an order book. So I like that. It made back to back runs up and it was active once more in pre market this morning. Unfortunately, though, after the open, it tanked. It was kind of like the FNGR trade, which we'll jump to in a moment, that Scott called out just as we started this meeting. But FNGR earlier this week, for as much as it ran up last week into this week, it tanked. For as much as this stock gapped up and ran up the past 2 days, well, it tanked. Led to a good bounce later on. Just took a while for that to materialize. Right now it's kind of moving sideways. It looks like it false broke from the VWAP a little bit earlier here. So I'm going to pass on this trade here, the Peggy. All right, got a bunch of cheapies here, like 70 cents, 19 cents, 8 cents, 24 cents. Got to kind of like skim through those. All right, Proverb, PRVB. We saw this at least early this morning. I didn't put this on the main watch list, but it was relatively active. Ended up leading to a little pop out the gate, but from that point, kind of just pulled back shortly after. And I mean, little move up here, but better trades out there at that time. And not even really to say like it's the most active time to even be trading, but there were better trades even here at this point. The SNTI was pushing at that point. I did not mean to click on this comms. TBLT. All right. One of our students was talking about TBLT earlier, just looking at it. And at the time, it was making a nice push up to 3, ended up pulling back down towards 290 here. At least this one, though, ended up making more of an afternoon move. More volume came in more off the afternoon session thus far, I feel. So, yeah, I'll add this to our list here for right now. TBLT. We're familiar with this one, too. Right. All right, we got the beat trade, BEAT, ended up making a big pop in pre-market. Great call out. It was breaking all-time highs at that point. It's holding over the previous all-time high, and that's right off of 547. I remember that just because I plotted that on my other platform here, but you could see right off 547, all-time high back from November, new IPO. So, not often we see an IPO this cheap and breaking all-time highs off a pop like that. So, we wanted to take full advantage. Unfortunately, it didn't really offer us a whole lot after. It's just been really flat here across the afternoon. So, definitely going to pass on this trade at this point. Maybe tomorrow check in with it if it shows more strength going up, but we'll pass on it here. All right, keep it going. We keep it moving. See what else we got here across the gainer side. Hey, I know Peloton's been pushing up pretty nicely, but with the market slumping off, it's going to be tough for that to like really go against the grain. We'll check in with that one in just a moment. Got Groupon. It's not really trading a whole lot of volume there. FFIE is a cheapie. IMVT, we saw this one from like yesterday, I think, right? Or even the day before, back on Tuesday. But, it's at the highs right now. It ended up making a bit of a push this morning. Order book doesn't check out too bad. So, you know what? Oh, actually, you know what? I just caught myself. The last part about this thing as to why I don't want to follow it. It's only trading like 2,000 shares a minute at that. Only like 1,800 shares a minute. That's really low. So it's trading enough volume on the day. Order book checks out great. That's really what I focus on more. But that doesn't mean a whole lot here. Only trading about 1,900 shares doesn't lead me to think it's going to really make a pop. So. All right, we'll hop over to the loser side here in just a moment. Last one I want to check out here, Blue. This one we're pretty familiar with as well. Actually, a lot more. This one trading a little bit more volume per minute. Order book is a little bit more liquid even, but it's been pushing up pretty nicely. So, we'll put this back on our watch list, though, the Blue trade. All right, let's hop over to the loser side right now. Obviously, the Chinese EV stocks we have on our watch list already. If you're just joining us right now, that's what we started off with, at least. Li, NIO beginning to slowly bounce back up for right now. But, going into this meeting, both were dropping off at the time. So, we're going to continue to follow them. Bloom, BE, Bloom Energy. We've been following this one on and off, kind of like BTU and energy stock, but ended up making a big drop here today. You know what? Why not? We don't have too big of a list here at this point. We're on the loser side now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 stocks to work with. Normally, if it's like 12, 13 stocks, I'm like yanking my own collar. I'm like, hey, not good. Let's see what else we have here, folks. If there's anything else looking really, really good, type it in the chat board across social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, for all of us like Jeff, Leda, Andre, Scott. Let me check out FNGR from Scott. It's like building this Fausto flag to a good degree here. Holding under the 820 high there, at least. So, you know what? It's been pushing them back up pretty nicely. Ended up having a big run from yesterday and from like a week and a half ago. Right? So back on Tuesday this week, this thing tanked. Ended up dropping off right out the gate at the market open. So it doesn't look terrible here, right? It's just a bit of a spread. I'll put this on our watch list. Got the ATXG stock, maybe? Nope. I guess not. All right. That one's not really looking too great there. I think I'm at the bottom of the barrel here, folks. Not a whole lot left. I think that just about wraps it up for me here, folks. So for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon, and this week, of course, throughout the mornings as well. Fausto will be out, I believe, tomorrow. I believe he'll be back in next week on Monday, or on Monday. I was going to say holiday on Monday, but markets are open on Monday, being Columbus Day. If you have any questions, folks, feel more than free to send over a quick email. I always like to post my email at the end of these streams here, josh@c2trading.com. Otherwise, if you're interested in joining our live trading room, feel more than free to go right down to the link on the yellow banner below the stream just to get yourself started. But for Kathleen, Leda, Jeff, and all of us otherwise, I look forward to chatting with you folks coming up right here at right around 3 o'clock. I'll be back in the trading room, at least inside the chat board.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.